Nothing. 1 2 1 2 special. Doesn't sound like it turned down 1 2 1 2. Special, I'm sorry. Trying to get things together. Appreciate the pull up, everybody. You're watching it on repeat. is your morality constant? What is that going? I said, I'm just trying to test it. We got to get it back together. We got to get it back together. Just a little cool out. Let me see. It's still low. sound like it's slow. Can y'all hear me okay? Maybe not. Check the mic. I can't hear the mic. Y'all hear that in the background? What the hell is going on? Sorry, let me get this together. 1 2 1 2. 1 2 1 2. Okay, that's a little bit better. It's a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. And now you came. How y'all doing this afternoon? It is 5:45. We're about to get it started. I'm just actually reviewing some videos that I did. Thank you guys for watching. I figured I could get a live done and review some of my videos. And if you guys have anything to say, especially critical, please drop them in the comments. That's it. That's exactly what I need. I need critical criticism with the dash of love. Now let's get this started real quick. See if I can pull it back up. We're just gonna sit back and we're just gonna watch and see what happens. Okay, guys, I'll be here. If you guys say anything in the comments, you'll always be able to hear me. Ain't no need to fair use there on my videos, right? Smart. Or am I a narcissist for watching my own videos back? But I never really watch my videos back. I'd be so insecure to see them. I don't even like watching them after I make them. So we gotta start doing it. So this is not just for you, this is for me more so than anything. And please leave any comment you like. This is how I get better. Let's start the show. What is going on, everybody? This is your moron with the conscience. We outside. I'm gonna try to record this like 5 or 6 times. Can't get it right, but we're gonna keep going at it. We don't give up. Quitters never win and winners never quit, as they say. They used to say that. But nevertheless, I'll be doing the political content more most of the time. I might talk about other stuff, but usually it's political. But the manosphere, of course, I'm in the kind of the sector of the manosphere. I watch it just to get a laugh, to say the least, because it is hilarious. But it is intertwining with politics, and I can no longer ignore it. Unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? It's not saying I haven't spoken on it before, but it's so prevalent now. And I think after the win with Trump, it's turned on. Like, now we can do it, and I think we've been seeing events that are good and bad, that are reacting to the manosphere even being in there. But nevertheless, I was watching on Twitter this little CNN interview. Of course, I know the MAGA and the manosphere won't like it, but I thought it was kind of interesting. Hold on, let's watch it for a little bit. Fair use. Like, this young lady started. There you go.
They speak liberal, they have liberal friends, and then they go online and they are a white supremacist.
Whoa, cool. Started with a bang. Already, right? Hold on, we're just gonna look up the definition. We'll wait. But she said liberal. All right, might as well start it over so we can.
Friends, and then they go online and they speak liberal, they have liberal friends, and then they go online and they are a white supremacist.
This is Vera Papasova. She spent the last year dating far-right men in New York City for a story for Cosmopolitan magazine.
They're the most insecure.
I wonder if I could do that. I wonder if I can date Republican ladies. Get an insight on how they feel They probably noticed me coming though, right?
Men in New York City for a story for Cosmopolitan magazine.
They're the most insecure men I've ever sat down with. It was really difficult to have some of these dates because they were so insecure, because they don't really know who they are, and they.
That's funny. That's funny that she said that. She said that these men don't know who they are. Like, you would think that the manosphere, those men would definitely know who they are and would be able to express who they are, what they stand for, their morals, their characters, not so much of the things that they have acquired, but what type of person they are. Not even man, what type of person they are, because go ahead.
They don't know how to figure that out.
She said the men she dated got all their news and information from the so-called manosphere.
Okay, so it's official. The manosphere and politics have intertwined, as per the young ladies.
They did not listen to anything else. They're only listening to independent media, and they're only listening to men talking to men.
The manosphere is made up of macho podcasters and influencers.
He called the macho podcast.
To men talking to men.
The manosphere is made up of macho podcasters and influencers.
There's no such thing as an independent female.
Most women have zero concept of like money.
Females don't have it.
What? Like, you see, this is kind of the issue with the manosphere that I have. They don't really see women as people. They're people. Like, some of them are going to be good and some of them are going to be bad. But they're people. They almost see them as objects, or not even, I don't know, like maids or servants. They want to be very subservient to them. That's why submissive is such a key thing in there. But this is just my opinion. Let's run it back. Come on.
Influencers.
There's no such thing as an independent female.
Most women have zero concept of like money.
Females don't have independent thought.
You see what I'm saying? Females don't have independent thought. That makes no sense. That's the one thing we do know, that they do have independent thoughts. Now, we might not like the things that they think, but they definitely. It's crazy.
It's a space where UFC fighters are among those who reign supreme.
They love the UFC guys. They love the MMA guys because those guys do what they can. They're modern gladiators. They're badass.
Badass, like.
So, I could see that macho bravado being a key factor in the manosphere too. Like, I'm tough and rough and.
Jake Shields, a former UFC star turned podcaster.
All right. Now I'm starting to feel nervous.
That's how
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, of course.
Who I met at an
That's how
MMA gym
Kitty-
in Las Vegas.
Like all great MMA pros.
I know this is gonna sound a little biased, but watch out, Kitty. Speed it up a little bit. Look, I ain't looking like I'm about to wrestle with a man. Yes, you are, but okay. Watch how Kitty Dude looks. Not the CNN reporter, but the MMA fighter.
This is CNN. You miss being full-time pro, like in terms of
You know, of course I miss it. To go from professional athlete, which is the highest of highs, to retirement.
And I
You have
guess
to the podcast has helped. You could fall into depression if you just go from the most amazing career where you're famous and spotlights to all of a sudden you're a nobody.
Sure.
Oof. Think about that. Think about what he just said. He said it's the highest of heights, and then to go to a nobody. So what are his podcast listeners? Because they're not all professional sports people, so they nobodies. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's that mentality that he think he a nobody. God say, as long as you're waking up, it's a purpose for you, right?
Like other podcasters in the manosphere, Jake regularly hosts controversial guests.
And I named the podcast Fighting Back. I feel like we have to fight back what we're told we're allowed to do. I just don't like to be told you're not allowed to talk to this person. Like, why can't I talk to him? I'm not saying I agree with his ideology, but I should hear what he has to say.
He's hosted the former Grand Wizard.
Okay, I dig that, to have a conversation with somebody, but it almost seems like a certain sector, especially on the conservative side, like the Tim Pools, the Joe Rogans, the Theo Von, when they have guests on like this, they almost make their guest message palatable, like it's acceptable. And you'll hear later on when the gentleman is talking to, I believe it's a gentleman of the Patriot Front. Can't remember his name, but we're gonna look into that. Mind me, somebody put Patriot Front in the comments to remind me if you still hear Patriot Front. But he almost makes it seem like his message is palatable, and it's not as bad as you think it is.
Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan.
Today I have a very, very special guest, Dr. David Duke. I know you're controversial, but I have no idea how controversial.
And Thomas Russo, the leader of the white supremacist group Patriot Front.
Let's go where we disagree a little bit.
Yes,
let's hit race, because you're a white-only group?
So the organization only allows people.
Let's hit
group Patriot Front.
Let's go where we disagree a little bit. Let's hit race.
Patriot Front.
Did you catch it? Let's go where we disagree a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit.
Let's go where we disagree a little bit. Let's hit race, because you're a white-only group?
So the organization only allows people of American ethnicity, and all Americans, I believe, come from Europe, so they're white.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm glad you asked me. I believe that all Americans deserve to be an American, but here's the kicker: only people from Europe. Just think what he just said. People from Europe are only Americans. What about the people who were here before you? That's the arrogance, the caucasity, as they say.
The true heirs of the
And all Americans, I believe, come from Europe.
A little bit. Let's hit race, because but I have no idea how controversial.
And Thomas Russo, the leader of the white supremacist group Patriot Front.
Let's go where we disagree a little bit. Let's hit race, because you're a white-only group?
So the organization only allows people of American ethnicity, and all Americans, I believe, come from Europe, so they're white.
One more time. I gotta hear it one more time, because that's just crazy.
Let's hit race, because you're a white-only group?
So the organization only allows people of American ethnicity, and all Americans, I believe, come from Europe, so they're white.
The true heirs of the American state fight on!
Yeah, no, I understand and talk to these guys, but I've also not brought anyone hateful. If I do, I'm going to be really, really on top of them.
But so you
Really
say
on
you
top
ever
of
brought
them?
someone hateful on, right?
On.
People say, well, you brought on
Yeah.
Grand Wizard of the KKK, you brought on Patriot Front.
Yeah.
They're hateful.
No, I think those are excellent questions, but if people go and watch the actual interviews, I think they would be like, oh, this guy's not near as hateful as if I expect it.
But Vera says hate isn't what the men she dated were really looking for.
One of these guys brought me to a political meeting.
And did they talk about politics?
Barely. They talked about, it was a bunch of men
I definitely will.
complaining about girlfriends and wives, regurgitating and
Think about what's going on about girlfriends. Yes, sir, man. I seen you on Kendrick. You doing your third visit, man. Make sure I want women to be subservient. This is my thing with submission and all that talk about women should be submissive to. If a woman is gonna be submissive to, maybe I should. We should be experiencing. This is a moment right here, guys. This is a moment. That channel, if a woman is gonna be submissive to you, she's going to give her submission to you. You can't force it. You can't tap it out. I'm gonna get you in a MMA fight. She has to be willing to.
Yeah, I see you. I see you on
Kendra.
Kendra. I see.
You don't really want it.
I see.
When you want it just to give it
I
to
see.
her. 'Cause if she's
Let
giving
that
it to
thing
you,
go.
she trusts you.
But yeah, man, you
be the man
hey.
that provides for her. Or it's or she she feels that you're secure enough.
This your time right here, buddy. Better keep hitting them up though. Just stay out there. Cause you only and I tried to hit you up one day on your thing, but I don't know if you was busy. They was doing a show about you. I said, look, that's how I'm like, look at him. Look, I know that guy. Look at you YouTube famous, man. You're on your way. Let me drop your channel in the chat. Get back to this real quick. I appreciate you pulling up on me, man. We got a legend in the
You
building.
make her feel secure enough that she can share her vulnerabilities with you, being submissive to you, doing what you want her to do. Like, come on, yeah, it's fucking not rocket science. Excuse my French. Forking. Send me $5 since I cussed. No, let's get back to it. Finish it up. Under this 15, we got 2 minutes. Let's go.
Andrew Tate type of advice about how to train your girlfriend, how to train your wife to be submissive. And so this group was supposed to be a political group, but they're talking about relationship problems. And the fact that that's what most of the time was spent on, you don't need to be a neo-Nazi. You need therapy.
The Appeal of Jakes podcast speaks to a need among young men in this country that Vera says can't be ignored.
You have to incentivize someone.
And that's why we're here, guys. We're here to help you,
your channel,
man, because I'm an old fool. And hopefully you won't wind up like me.
You know?
Help you. Just don't listen to, first thing, stop listening to Andrew Tate, Byron Gates, Tommy Sotomayor, all them dudes. Stop listening to. Go your own way. It's time to go your own way.
And to want to be better. You can't just say, let's make men better. The thing about these guys is their biggest support system is online, but that also is very isolating, and isolation is what breeds hatred.
Groups like Patriot Front offer community, but community based on
Just
racism.
pulling up on me, man.
People have to really think about, do you have the capacity to talk to people that you don't agree with? Because that one nice conversation you might have might change someone's day enough to not have to seek out help in an online support group, which is actually a bunch of white supremacists using political beliefs as an excuse for how they feel.
Whew. There is so many layers to this. So many layers. But we're going to keep delving into it. But I got the video out the way. I'm good. But this is your Moron with the Conscious, aka Conscious Moron. I appreciate the pull up, the like, the support, the subscriptions. I mean, that's, subscribing. Remember, without you, there would be no Moron. Y'all be safe. Peace. Oh, I almost made it. Let's see if this works. I'm trying some, y'all. I tried to get out under 3 minutes. Oh, it is working. It is working. Ooh. I might have found the lazy way to replay my videos. Okay. Let's go.
Everything that is in the best interest of our community. And then when you talk about the church, you can't get somebody that is more antithetical to Christianity than that particular candidate. I don't care how many Bibles he sells. You don't even read the Bible. You know, he's in here talking about 2 Corinthians and holding the Bible upside down and hasn't lived a word that's in it.
2 Corinthians, right? 2 Corinthians 3:17. That's the whole ball game.
Matter of fact, for those who want to make him a Christian, he said, I'm not telling you what I'm saying. When he was asked whether he had ever repented, he said he had no reason to repent because he doesn't do anything wrong.
Have you ever asked God for forgiveness? I'm not sure I have. Just try and do a better job from there. I don't think so. I don't bring God into that picture. I don't like to have to ask for forgiveness, and I am good. I don't do a lot of things that are bad. I try and do nothing that's bad.
Last time I checked, according to Romans 10:9, Democrats accountable, hold Republicans accountable, hold anybody in elected office accountable for meeting the best interests of your community. But don't sit here and tell me that somebody who means you nothing but what is outside of your best interest is the best candidate for the day.
That was Bishop Talbert Swan. I'm sorry. And I'm not religious, but I'm just curious because I've heard that, and I think I even dropped a short about Donnie Swaggart. That's the craziest name, Donnie Swaggart. He's Jimmy Swaggart's son, and he was questioned in the black church. I don't know where it's at, but if you look through the archives, it's in the archives. But I was just curious about that. It's because like I said, that's your relationship with God. It's your personal business. I'm just curious, like when they say he was sent by God, that's just crazy. Do y'all think that's crazy? And did you vote yet? All right. As in closing, as in always, this is your moron with the conscious, aka conscious moron. And without you, there would be no moron. I appreciate you. Be safe.
You're talking about the survival of our civilization. Do whatever Trump tells you to do. He tells you to like someone, you like him. He tells you to drop someone, you drop him. It's that important. I'm not laughing.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be funny. I believe that's reality.
Okay.
What is going on, everybody? This is your mom, the conscious. Hold on, why do I gotta hold this? There we go. Oh, Lord Jesus, can you still hear me? My apologies. This is your moron with the conscious, aka conscious moron. How y'all doing? It's been a while. I know I haven't been on it. I need to start doing more lives. We got to get it going because Trump is he's destroying the country, to say the least, right? And I want to say I just been playing the back, just watching it explode and implode on itself. And it's been kind of sad and funny. I didn't expect it to happen so fast. I thought it'd be like 6 months out, or I thought he would get at least 100 days in before everything started falling apart. But he did that with exceptional speed, and this gentleman is one of his many followers. We haven't been watching his podcast in a while. We just started watching it. Well, I just started watching it again today, and he's right back at it. Let's take a little look.
Well, Jessica, Jessica, the dumbest people I've known in my life have advanced college degrees.
Now, he said the smartest people, the dumbest people have advanced college degrees. That makes absolutely no sense, but I want y'all to pay attention to what he says later on, okay? Listen, now we just going to do these little 15-minute pop-ups whenever I see fit.
Okay, and that's true. I'm sorry to say, okay? But Jessica Tarloff, here's the thing with Jessica Tarloff. She just didn't go to college. She went to a special college. She went to the she went to the London School of Economics. I've heard her mention that at least once. The London School of Economics. Now, to me, that sounds like a CIA facility, right? Why would an American girl be going to the London School of Economics? That sounds very strange to me. Very strange. I don't trust anyone who goes to schools like that. Anyone who goes to schools like that sounds deep state to me. And I heard her mention that early on when she joined the Five, and that was, red flag.
We won with poorly educated. I love the poorly educated.
And I'm proud that I graduated college, but it's not that big of a deal.
I'll close with this, that most of these colleges, they indoctrinate you through the actual books. The books are all corrupted, and they make them buy these books every year. The way that they got such a scam with that.
I give an example of what they do in college, okay? And you guys I've talked. I've got a double major, history and education, so I can teach social studies and such. I remember I had this class, the class was how to teach social studies education.
So he himself has a college degree, but then he just says that people who have advanced college degrees are the dumb. Like that makes absolutely no sense, man. That's why, but I understand why Trump loves people who are poorly educated, because they're easier to control, easier to trick, easier to get you under the spell. That's why he loves y'all so much. It seems like even the smart ones, or the ones who have a college degree, don't have any common sense, and I think that's what we're missing. It's the common sense of it all. Like, where's the common sense? We have to have some type of common ground, I guess, to have common sense. So maybe we need to start doing that. But who am I? I am just a moron with a conscience, aka conscious moron. Yo, I appreciate the pull up. Hopefully you liked the video, maybe shared it, at least subscribed. Maybe not though, but if you still here to the end, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
It is up to all of us to fix this. It's not going to be because somebody comes and saves you. The most important office in this democracy is the citizen.
We won with poorly educated. I love the poorly educated.
The ordinary person who says, no, that's not right. I do think one of the reasons that our commitment to democratic ideals has eroded is that we got pretty comfortable and complacent.
Yep. Can't fight fire with water. You gotta fight fire with fire.
You can't fight fire with water?
Depends on what's in the fire.
They specifically do fight fire with water.
Yeah.
You know, it has been easy during most of our lifetimes to say you are a progressive, or say you are for social justice, or say you're for free speech, and not have to pay a price for it. And now we're at one of those moments where, you know what, it's not enough just to say you're for something. You may actually have to do something and possibly sacrifice a little bit.
So,
that was something.
I am become meme. Yeah, pretty much. I'm living the meme. It's like there's living the dream and there's living the meme, and it's pretty much what's happening, you know.
You're like, I think you're bigger.
I mean, Doge started out as a meme. Think about it.
Yeah,
You know, it's real. Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
But it's cool.
So, yeah, if you're a law firm being threatened, you might have to say, okay, we will lose some business because we're going to stand for a principle. If you are a university, you may have to say, figure out, are we in fact doing things right? Have we in fact violated our own values, our own code, violated the law in some fashion? If not, and you're just being intimidated, well, you should be able to say, well, that's why we got this big endowment. You know, we'll stand up for what we believe in, and then we'll pay our researchers for a while out of that endowment, and we'll give up the extra wing or the fancy gymnasium that we can delay that for a couple of years, because
just the difference in how Obama literally thinks about what he says before he says it is the complete difference between these two men. And I'm still mesmerized how we go from someone who can has thought and empathy for his country compared to somebody who really just doesn't give a truck about it. Try not to cuss, so I'm gonna say truck instead of. But you know, it's just weird, man. Even to this day, that still freaks me out.
For most of human history, and to this day in most of places in the world, there is a cost to challenging the powers that be, particularly if they're abusing that power. And this idea, and I've noticed this among some wealthier folks who, you know, after George Floyd, they were right there, and a bunch of companies were talking about how they cared about diversity and they wanted to do this and they were all for that. And they are mute right now. But what that tells me is it was okay. Not so much. And that, I think, is what we have to, each of us has to. We say we're for equality. Are we willing to fight for it? Are we going to risk something for it? We say that we're for rule of law. Are we going to stick to that when it's tough, not when it's easy? We believe in freedom of speech. Do we stand up for freedom of speech when the other person talking is saying stuff that infuriates us and is wrong and hurtful? Do we still believe in it?
Good morning. President Trump is standing by his national security team as the fallout intensifies after top officials mistakenly shared attack plans for U.S. military strikes in Yemen on the Signal messaging app with a journalist. In an
Wait a minute, did I just hear that right?
exclusive phone interview on Saturday, the president told me, quote, "I don't fire people because of fake news and because of witch hunts." Mr. Trump said he still has confidence in Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and National Security Advisor Mike Waltz.
We won with poorly educated. I love the poorly educated.
He said.
Just hours ago, President Trump called me to tell me he is, quote, pissed off with Russia's President Putin and threatened to impose secondary tariffs on Russia's oil. Quote, "If Russia and I are unable to make a deal on stopping the bloodshed in Ukraine, and if I think it was Russia's fault, which it might not be, but if I think it was Russia's fault, I am going to put secondary tariffs on all oil coming out of Russia." Mr. Trump said 25% tariffs on Russian oil could happen any moment and told me he plans to speak with President Putin this week. The president told me, quote, "I was very angry, pissed off when Putin started getting into Zelensky's credibility and started talking about new leadership in Ukraine." On Iran, the president said he's also considering secondary tariffs if Iran doesn't agree to a nuclear deal. Quote, "If they don't make a deal, there will be bombing." And
Yep. Can't fight fire with water. You gotta fight fire with fire.
You can't fight fire with water?
Depends on what's in the fire.
They specifically do fight fire with water.
Yeah.
will be bombing the likes of which they have never seen before. After markets tumbled on Friday and with consumer confidence falling, the president also told me he's not backing down on his tariff plans.
All cars that are not made in the United States, if they're made in the United States, there's absolutely no tariff.
And the president telling me tariffs are, quote, absolutely permanent. And on fears of foreign automakers raising prices, quote, I couldn't care less if they raise prices because people are going to start buying American-made cars. And on his vow to annex Greenland, the president saying, quote, I never take military force off the table, but I think there's a good possibility that we could do it without military force.
The process of the Second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless if the left allows it to be.
Explanations for how you
Oh, man, my mic been on mute. I'm sorry.
Group chat. Take a listen to some of what we heard.
Maybe Goldberg found a way. Maybe there's a staffer. Maybe there's a very innocent staffer. But I think we'll get to the bottom of it very quickly, and it's really not a big deal.
Well, not a big deal. Thank you, RBI.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Okay, staffer wasn't responsible, and look, I take full responsibility. I built the group. My job is to make sure everything's coordinated. I'm sure everybody out there has had a contact where it was said one person and then a different phone number.
But you've never
Wait a minute, did I just hear that right?
You
talked to
did.
him before, so how's the number on your phone? I mean, I'm not an expert in any of this, but it's just curious. How's the number on your phone?
Well, if you have somebody else's contact and then somehow it gets
someone
sucked
sent
in,
you that
it gets sucked in.
Sure they did.
White.
Sure.
Wait a minute, did I just hear that right?
Jeffrey, what?
Well, this isn't the Matrix. Phone numbers don't just get sucked into other phones. I don't know what he's talking about there. Very frequently in journalism, the most obvious explanation is the explanation. My phone number was in his phone because my phone number is in his phone. He's telling everyone that he's never met me or spoken to me. That's simply not true. I understand why he's doing it. But this has become a somewhat farcical situation. There's
Holy cow! He's dead!
He's down. All right. Okay, don't stop right. Stop right there. Press pause. Oh, this is a good one too. Dang. We got time.
Is Maine here, the governor of Maine? Huh? Are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with state and federal laws.
We are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better
Hey, how you doing?
Otherwise, you're not getting
Got a
any
few minutes.
federal
I was just
funding.
about to get up out of here. How
Every
you doing
state-
today?
Good, I'll see you. Good. I look forward to that. That should be a
Uh-oh.
real easy one.
We're about to start doing it. This is gonna
And
be like
enjoy your life after
between
governor, 'cause I don't
4
think you're
and
elected
5 as
politics.
of right now. So tomorrow, be looking out between 4 and
That
5.
just sound weird how he's
RBR has been reawakened.
uniting us. I'm gonna
Came to
start
me
a
in
series
the,
called The Man Who
in the dream like stink meter.
In other words, the man who
Told me I better
ruined
get on it.
the United States of America. Not united anymore. We're more divided than ever. Even his own people starting to flip on him. I know you like what you talking about, but look at this.
And tyranny will rise. I believe you know the rest of his speech. Something about give me liberty.
Okay, that's what's up. I'm still waiting on my tomatoes.
Writings of our founding fathers that our great republic was never meant to be ruled by a dictator nor a king. So you can imagine my shock and pure horror when I woke up and find that our president had given himself unprecedented executive powers, and then within a few days named himself king to his followers.
I'm letting you know right now. You know I'm messing. Yeah, when they ready, when we get some, gotta change
Tyranny is rising in the White House, and a man has declared himself our king. So I would like to know, rather, the people would like to know what you, congressmen, and your fellow congressmen are going to do to rein in the megalomaniac in the White House.
Listen to those cheers.
I know. You're like, yeah, those are just Democrats voicing their opinion, but no, that was actually a Republican county in Georgia, Roswell, Georgia, very heavily Republican, in which the Republicans usually just vote up the ticket. So they voted for Trump, and now they're upset, but Y'all didn't realize that this was y'all was getting like it's kind of like irony. It's almost like that part in the Matrix when Morpheus was explaining to Neo what the Matrix was, and Neo couldn't believe it. That's what y'all Republicans are realizing now. But I don't know. It's y'all let this happen. Like, just think if Harris was there, we'd almost be cool. It wouldn't be half this stuff going on. Just because. I don't think. What's the reason? That's the crazy part. What's the reason you voted for him now? Because all hell is literally breaking loose here in America. The United States isn't united.
Hey, how you doing? All the ladies coming through. I see. Yep, we're gonna start doing this.
This is your moron with the conscience.
I don't know the time. It's gonna be
remember without you.
Like either 4 to 5. We're gonna start every day 4 to 5, Jay. All right, hold on. We can separate because this the last. That's it. That's I gotta go. See, that's a good one too. That's everybody. We might come on later tonight. Stop moron with the conscience. Oh, but Jane Queen, thank y'all so much for joining me. Hold on. Let's do this. I'm just chilling. How you doing? You all right? Is everybody all right? Yeah, hold on. We'll get rid of this. Boom. And get this. There we go. How y'all doing? It's good to see you. Yes, they definitely are going to start hurting. I want to quit my job so bad, but I'm fearful. I'm so fearful that I won't get another one. So I've been holding out. No, let me stop. Yes, it's coming to it. It is coming to a head. It seems like so fast, though. I didn't think it was gonna be this fast, Queen. Thought it was gonna be at least 6 months, 100 days in. He ain't even got 100 days in. But look where we at. It's crazy. But thank y'all so much for joining me, man. But we are going to start doing these daily. We got to keep it going because I seen the video and I'm like, oh my God, we're lost as Americans. We're lost. We're definitely lost. But as in always, this is your moron with the conscience, aka Conscious Moron. And remember, without you, there would be no more. I'm gonna read these last 2. I say years straight, it would be rough. Yeah, but I mean, it's so fast to deport. They deported the immigrants. They're gonna send the homeless to the fields to pick them. Did you hear about that though? He said that if the farmers say that some immigrants are okay, that they could stay. What? They could stay? They could stay like I don't know what this guy is on, man. Part of me thinks he wants to cripple the market so that he can consolidate his power here in America. But that's just, conspiracy in me. The conspirator, rather, in me. Not the conspiracy. But let me get up out of here. Thank y'all so much for joining me. We might try and do something a little bit later, but I got to make it around real quick, as in always. Appreciate y'all. Y'all be safe, please. Go in the stream, go.